we get a wacky and insane sprite fight and a season finale of epic proportions. All that and potentially more on today's episode of BrobusCast Death Battle Edition. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I'm your host Brobuscus. With me today is ZDogg. And that's a copyright claim off the bat. Okay, cool. And we also have Richard.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, so we have stuff to talk about. That's kind of become the norm here.
Yes.
And it's yeah, wow, we have a lot to go into.
Yes, we have a penultimate episode to talk about.
Yep. We got ourselves Naruto vs. Bleach Round 2, and it ends the exact same way. Rip. Madara versus Aizen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a battle it was.
Yeah, this is really cool.
I'm still trying to process it, but I can definitely say this is by far in the top 3 best Naruto fights.
Yeah. I could see that.
Alright, now, obviously, first we gotta talk about the results. I mean, we kind of already went over it last episode.
Yes. Spoiler! Madara won.
Yep.
That's another Naruto W in the bag.
Yeah, and they actually lived, and Madara actually lived, so they...
There you go.
Yeah,
Naruto's
no getting
not
cucked
alone.
by... no getting cucked this time.
Yeah.
Naruto's
That's
not
good.
alone.
Yeah, no, Naruto and Guy are not alone.
Well, Guy's dead. He won.
That's true. Guy is dead. but technically speaking, there are 3 victors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I feel bad for Bleach. I really do.
Yeah. Damn, honestly, but not much you can do about it.
One
It
day.
does. It's one day. It does. It sucks that they get another loss because again, it's like I wouldn't be lying if I said childhood me kind of prefers Bleach over Naruto, but you know, it is what it is, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, at least thought the episodes turned out pretty good, though.
That's true.
Something.
Yes, that's a great segue into the actual episode itself.
Yeah. First off, can we talk about how much Gerardo popped off on the analysis segments?
Yes.
My gosh, these editors are insane.
Yeah, they definitely put in work, and it's paying off. So, yeah.
There needs to be an award ceremony for best editing in the death battles.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think some of my favorite parts were like that one bit. Most of it is in Madara's analysis, admittedly, but
Yeah.
like there was that one bit with Madara checking that stone, playing with the rock.
That was really cool. Nice.
And that like transition from the Sharingan, like, oh my gosh, I was speechless when I saw that for the first time.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got to be some of like the best editing this season so far, and this season's been killing it. So
yeah, it has. It has. Man, it's gonna be hard to pick a favorite episode with the best editing
Oh,
because Gerardo and Nick freaking killed it with all of them.
oh yeah. Mhm.
And then yeah, that's the quickest transition into the actual fight itself. Oh my gosh,
So,
so good.
Okay. If I had to sum up this fight, like it's essentially Flash versus Quicksilver, but with a can of more speed.
Sure. Um,
It did. It was high octane. It was fast paced, and it was confusing as shit. There was so much illusions.
yeah, yeah. There was a lot of like wacky and mind-boggling things going on.
mhm.
But like, can we talk about how smooth these sprites are? Like,
Oh yeah.
they've been rocking it with the puppeteering this season.
It's pretty much seamless at this point. There's little to no jank. They're very expressive. They move very fluidly, and just overall, when they get into the choreography, it's just a spectacle to see, and the transformations are even better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and the Sasana.
Yeah, the Susano. It was great.
Absolutely.
And we get like Madora's Limbo clones versus the energy dragons. I'm like, okay, those are dragons. That's cool.
Those are dragons.
Yep.
They're so dragony they broke the frame rate.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did. But you know what? It's fine. It's whatevs.
Yeah.
Heck, I
Mhm.
barely even noticed when I first watched it. So you know what?
Yeah.
Them laughing like just hysterically. Like just,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a great bit in character moment there.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
I guess
Cool.
Potter is a masochist. I didn't know that. Okay.
I did not know that either. Oh man, and the kill shot, very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That last one totally faked me out.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
I was like, is Aizen actually gonna win this? And then nope, he
Nope.
doesn't.
Right.
Uh-uh.
Again, what a shame, but whatever. I do like how
Yeah.
it's like the fake out death was kind of like a reference to when Madara died in canon.
Yes.
Like just it's yet another literal backstab. Only this time he saw it coming. So
He did see it coming.
screw you, Aizen. I'm just kidding. Aizen's really cool.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think one of my favorite things is like Madara throws Aizen to a meteor, and then Aizen cuts up that meteor. I'm like, all right, well, screw that meteor, and then there's more meteors. It's like,
There are more meteors.
like, whoa, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems pretty simple, but like, I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It is. It's good. It's not. I wouldn't say it's my favorite kill shot of the back half, but just because of the good fake outs, it was pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely very creative.
Thank you.
And it also like utilizes like one of like the only ways Madara can actually kill Aizen, the truth-seeking orbs.
Yep.
Because I'm sure someone in the cesspool that is the YouTube comments are gonna be like, "Yo, how did Aizen die there? Doesn't he have like crazy regeneration?" I'm like, "Yeah, he does, but like so did Minato, and look what happened to him."
Yeah. True.
I'm actually like kind of concerned for the casual audience on this one.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of Naruto or Bleach, or if you haven't seen most of these two characters, then you're probably going to be a little lost when it comes to what's going on.
Well, not just that. I'm more so talking about the people who are fans, because everybody I saw in the comment section when the video went up, ready for the premiere, everybody in the comments went for Aizen. Like I see all that, and I'm sitting here like pretty confident that Madara is gonna win, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, if you're a Bleach fan, sorry.
They will get their win someday, hopefully.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They have a lot of matchups to choose from, and I don't know how many of them they win. Like I think I know this is off topic, kind of. I made it pretty clear in my reaction that I think Kenpachi should be the next Bleach character. And I asked, like, does Kenpachi win any of his matchups? And the most response I got was like he beats all of them except for debatably Azrael from Blaze Blue. And I'm like, well, that's kind of unfortunate because that's my favorite one.
Oh well, they'll have their time eventually, maybe. Also, what are I'm sure Rukia has a matchup that she wins, maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard much Rukia matchups. I mean, I know Sakura was a thing, but that's more of a meme. Aside from that, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure they will. Yeah.
So, yes. You want to know what also slaps in this? The voice acting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I messaged now. Okay, so it's Nicholas Angelilli as Madara and
Yes.
Philip Sacramento as Aizen.
Both of them were really good.
Yeah, both crushed it.
That's an understatement.
Like I messaged Nal on Twitter. I'm like, my guy, your vocal range will never cease to amaze me. Like when I saw the preview and I heard Madara's voice, I'm like, who is that? And then Liam dumps after the fact that it's Nal, and I'm like, what?
That blew my mind. But I never would have guessed that would have been Nick.
Not for real.
Which
girls.
Side note, we have been we've obviously been asking, where's Nick? When is Nick gonna come back? And
found him.
Yeah, we found him. Which I guess that was the best choice to have him be in the penultimate episode. I also just gotta say, I don't know, maybe this is me. Maybe Reverse Flash versus Goku Black is still in my head, but I swear when Nick delivered that line. I love it. The pounding of my own heart moment, and then the evil laugh after that. It very much came off as kind of like a reverse Flash, like just so in the moment, loving everything that's going on, and just the masochism in it is like that was so fucking good.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
It's like this band goes from like Sonic to Ben 10 to
Tommy
to
Broly, Kakashi, Danny Phantom, and now frickin' Madara.
Yeah.
He has a really good raid. What can we say? Also gets a win, so let's go.
Yeah, third win.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. Woo! He's catching up.
Yeah. Good enough. Yeah.
His win-loss record is looking less and less negative by the day.
Yes, that's great.
But hey, if he can do that and also show off his range, I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do. I love hearing Nick as well. It's so cool that he came back. Hoping we see more of him, but if not, then this was a great way.
And here I was thinking we would go this entire season without him.
It's like, no,
oh, how naive of me.
Yeah, exactly. But then, transition over to Philip.
Who also has an insane range.
I purposely on yesterday, I listened out to any cues to see, is he just doing his Akuma voice, but different? And the more and more I listen to it, I'm like, no, that's just all him. That's crazy.
Yeah, and his Aizen gives me chills. Like,
it really does. It's very good. It's very laid back, subdued, confident, and then the best moment is when they're both laughing. It's legit probably the creepiest bit of voice acting we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Because we don't get these type of characters that very often. These villains that are monsters and kind of eccentric, energetic, and just downright bastards. I mean, we did get the aforementioned Black and Reverse Flash, but that was more of one had a god complex, the other one was just so fucking full of himself. Whereas these two, they've done some freaked up shit that'll make them be like, oh, okay, welcome to the club.
Yeah. I mean, Aizen is freaking everything in Bleach.
Yeah, dude straight up faked his own death, and God, Madara, it's like, go over his rap sheet.
Well, I mean, the dude has another dude's face on his chest, which is so weird to say out loud.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
But that do be the case.
Yeah. No, I don't know where this ranks in terms of my favorite bit of voice acting, but I will say I think the back half has been the best. Mostly the best when it comes to the voice acting.
Yeah.
It definitely has some highlights for sure.
It does have some really good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we have Hollow Dreams.
God dang it, Brandon! Why do you do this to me?
Yeah.
The ultimate blend of like the tone of Dangerous Gaze with the lyrical feel of Chaos Unraveled. Um,
Which I guess ZDogg got his wish. I don't know where this ranks for you personally, ZDogg, in terms of tracks.
I'll be honest, I have no clue now because I actually haven't really listened to it on its own. But
It's worth it.
It sounds pretty good from what I've heard so far. So
I mean, Brobuscus is not wrong. I totally got Chaos Unraveled vibes from the vocal range.
yeah.
And it's
there's
so
like, there's leitmotif from Dangerous Gaze. Like there's literally like 2 instances that remix parts of Dangerous Gaze. Like once I heard it, I was like, oh, hold on.
Yes, and even the beginning, it's very atmospheric and it's very creepy. There's just so much going on, and then once the vocals kick in, it's very seamless. Like it's proper build up. It doesn't just start off with vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and man, and I also liked how the music kind of tricks you. It's so in sync with the animation that it actually tricks you into believing that, wait a minute, did Aizen just win? And then it starts back up again. It's like, oh no, Madara just fucked with me. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. I don't know. For me, I would probably say this is my. It may be up there as my favorite vocal track of the season. I think it's right up there. It has surpassed Chaos Unraveled. Sorry for ZDogg. I know that's blasphemy. But it is. It has a little bit of everything. It keeps the Naruto and motif, but it's the lyrics are very much paying homage to both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is this is a
when
great ass track.
When Brandon said that, he had made probably some of his best work, he wasn't kidding.
No, he had no right to go this hard, but he did, and I thank him for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. Yes. Very well done. If this is his last vocal track of the season, then yeah, what a track to go out on.
Yep.
He's had a good track record this season with them, so that's good.
Ha! I get it. Track record.
I didn't. I mean, yeah, but I didn't actually mean it look like it.
I'm curious to see. I'm just curious to see how he's going to top himself in season 9.
Well,
Who knows?
We'll just have to wait and see, and it's still dawning on me that we're not too far away from season 9. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we are. Like,
what the actual
probably...
heck is time?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So overall, I just want to say, because I know we're you can tell we're acting off, and I think people know why we're acting off. But I just want to say, if there's one thing about this fight that I guess keeps it from being my number 1 favorite, which if it is anybody's number 1, very much good on them. I'm very happy I was able to deliver, especially to Sean out there.
Yeah.
Who, I know he was looking forward to this. I know how excited he was, and I'm happy it fulfilled his expectations, I would assume.
Man did a reaction video cosplaying as Aizen. So
yes, we do. But for me, I guess it was just too fast, if that makes any sense. Like, everything was just happening at the speed of a roller coaster. You're literally there's not much build up. You just drop, and then you're pretty much along for the ride. And by the end, your blood is pumping, and you just want to go on it again. Like, I guess that's my only complaint, is that there's not much breathing room. But I kind of understand why. Is they have to get these out in a timely manner, and maybe that's just the one thing that both Korra versus Storm and Dio and Alucard had, is they had room to breathe. It didn't feel like they were going too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other problem with this fight is, like, both of them have, like, so many abilities and so many transformations. Like,
yeah,
it was pretty much inevitable that they were gonna, like, blow through them.
Exactly.
Because, like, they've said like, the reason why we don't get, like, insanely long fights anymore is because A, budget, B, time, and C, sometimes it can get boring.
Which, they're not wrong, but I disagree with that last one a little bit in terms of almost any other fight. But here, I think I can kind of see why, because it's hard to keep the transformations gripping.
Yeah.
And really, this is Naruto and Bleach we're talking about.
Yeah.
This isn't Dragon Ball Z, where you can make the transformations more badass and more interesting and more of a spectacle. Whereas here, you have to it has to be short but sweet with the transformations.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, Aizen, like, skips through a couple of them, I think, so...
yeah. I mean...
So, like,
the main two were the most important, so I understood that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, this is... I said it while we were talking off camera. This may be in the top 3 best Naruto fights of all time. I wouldn't say it's better than All Might versus Might Guy, nor would I even say it's better than Naruto versus Ichigo, but I will say it is definitely better than Sasuke versus Hiei. If only slightly, because
I can agree with that.
Because again,
I probably just need to get
no. It's okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. But at the bare minimum, Sasuke versus Hiei felt better paced.
Sure. I mean, like, Naruto, of all franchises, Naruto seems to have a pretty consistent track record on Death Battle for having really good episodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's only, like, really 2 that, like, is widely not liked.
Yeah.
That's good.
And even then, one of them, like, the hate seems to have, like, drifted away. Like, some people will appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's become a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still wrong as balls, but
Oh, I thought we were talking about Rock Lee versus Sanji.
I'm talking about Garatov.
Oh, okay, then yes. Well, that one's nostalgia, but yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, Lee versus Sanji really isn't that bad. It's got its problems for sure, but
yeah.
We've warmed up to it. We realized, holy shit, this episode ain't that bad.
Yeah. I regret that I forgot to talk about this during the analysis, but gosh dang it, that Wiz moment with the boosted cutaway was hilarious.
Yeah, that's probably the best joke of the season. Like, Wiz trying to explain Madara's complicated ass plans to someone like Boomstick. And then when Boomstick says no, and Wiz is like, oh, you would think so, right? And then he explains another portion of it, and then just passes out.
That's funny.
You all did this. You broke him.
Yeah. That was a good moment. I love that.
That was so good.
But what do you think, ZDogg?
I mean, I definitely think I need to view it a few more times, but I thought it was pretty good overall. I-
If you had to choose, where would you rank it in terms of the Naruto fights?
I mean,
Just based off memory.
based off memory right now, I'd say it's. I still think All Might vs. My Guy is the top. That's
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that.
But between the others, I'd say it's right now just off gut feeling. I'd say it's below Sasuke versus it's below Sasuke Hiei, but above or tied with Naruto versus Ichigo, and then the others are.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say like it. Only versus my guy is still the king.
Oh yeah.
But I think I'm gonna say Madara versus Aizen after that. If only slightly better than Naruto versus Ichigo.
Well, in terms of sprite work, I agree because the kind of pet peeve is that I didn't like the sprites used for Naruto and Ichigo because I don't like those sprites. Here, these sprites are actually better, but again, both are similar.
I'll give Naruto versus Ichigo the point for voice work, though.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dawn and
that Adam guide was really
Dawn
good.
and Adam did a great job.
But
and then Noelle out here sounded like freaking Tony Todd.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And even track wise, I would say that this is way better just because it's a vocal track, so it gets that extra edge. I don't know. Again, it's at least tied. It's at least similar to Naruto and Ichigo in terms of the pace and the speed it goes by.
Yeah.
But and they only really have one moment where everything just stops, and then it's like, wait, what the hell's going on? And then it just resumes right after that.
Yeah. I'll also give Naruto Ichigo the point for a more respectful send-off. Not to say that this wasn't. I mean, it was disrespectful, but that's kind of the point. They're villains, but
yeah,
no, Ichigo went out like a boss.
Yeah,
he did. Whereas Aizen, he just went out being tricked. So I mean, yeah.
And like for this fight, but yeah.
Yeah. So okay, all right. Well,
I think
that's
that's we talked about an episode.
Yeah, no, which I hope we're not giving people the wrong idea. We did like this episode. We really did like this episode. Like, bar none.
This episode is very, very, very good.
It's just there's one problem, and it's not even the episode's fault.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there is one fault. I mean, I don't know if this is what you're going to say, so I apologize if I'm stealing your thunder. But I mean, we are talking about this the day after, or the day of the YouTube release, so I'm sure
that's true too. We're recording this very early.
We haven't had enough time to let it sink in on like other fights. So if/when we go do the ranking of the season, we'll rectify that. Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, it'll probably be higher than. A lot higher once we go back and watch it, but that is another thing.
It also probably doesn't help that it features like franchises and characters that we're not crazy invested in.
Yeah, I mean,
we can talk about how much of a boss both of them looked in the fight, but that's really just like in hindsight.
Exactly. It's like we didn't grow up with these characters. We have there's no hook for us to get invested in them other than getting told their entire backstory and what they've accomplished and what they're capable of. And again, it's like it is. It's like I mean, they're not the main characters. I think that's the kind of the problem is they're not Naruto or Ichigo. If it was them, then we could be slightly more interested because again, I grew up with Naruto as a character and Ichigo as a character, but Madara and Aizen, I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously, that's no fault to the characters. It's just
Oh no.
how it is.
Yeah, no, that's not their fault. It's just that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that's just how
Yeah.
things are. Although I
Yeah.
will say, this episode did get me a lot more, like, I'm going to compare it to another semi-penultimate episode. Like harkening back to Steven versus Star, that was honestly like my lack of investment. That was kind of my biggest issue with the fight, is that I'm not interested in the characters, and it doesn't really do a whole lot to keep me into it. Because it's like,
That's fair.
Yeah.
because it's like if I don't care about these characters, then why should I care about what's going on?
It's fair.
This one definitely. I mean, maybe it's because like both of them seem like really cool villains, just from what little I have seen. But this one definitely kept me a little bit more interested than
Yeah.
Steven started.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, that's. And just like ZDogg said, once we go and do our rankings of the season overall, we'll probably have a lot more to say on why we place it the way in the ranking order we've placed it. So there's a chance we'll be able to redeem ourselves.
Yeah, but but for the initial discussion, it is. I think we all did like it a good amount. So
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. That's the best thing about it. It's good. It does its job as a penultimate episode, and
And as a return to both Naruto and Bleach.
Yes,
Now we
exactly.
just need more Bleach characters. Let's go. Let's do it. Give us more Bleach characters.
Yes,
The Bleach
Yes,
anime is
come on.
coming back. Let's do it.
yes, that is true. Let's do it. But until then, I guess it's time to sail the seas.
yep. Let's set
It
sail
is-
into our topic, which is also probably another reason why we're not.
It's
Let me-
time.
Yeah, let me check my watch. It is season finale o'clock.
Gosh.
Okay. All right.
Boy, man.
Oh boy, I'm not ready for the season to end, but here we are. So,
How on earth do you wrap up a 10-year legacy anniversary season?
Well, I mean, I think there's a few ways. I mean, you could go big or go home, literally, with Galactus versus the Unicron.
Or you could
or
go,
Goku versus Superman 3, you return to what to your roots, so to speak.
Or you could also do celebrate the show in the biggest way possible with Samus versus Master Chief, and anyway.
Yeah, or even go back. Oh yeah, that
Or
too.
even-
Or you just
or just go
Go
like, screw it. Do one of our biggest requested matchups and do Cole McGrath versus Alex Mercer.
yeah, that's what I was using.
All of those are definitely very viable options. And then we
Yeah.
get this.
Yeah.
Um,
We get arguably I'm not sure for sure, obviously, but one of the highest requested characters on the show, and do it is arguably most popular matchup. That works.
sure.
That's
yeah,
fine. I'm being serious. I know I sound ironic, but I'm actually okay with it.
yeah.
So yeah, our season finale is freaking Saitama versus Popeye.
Yes, the
Oh.
hero for fun versus the sailor of the seas.
Yep. The caved Baldy versus the spinach strong man. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll go with that. Sure.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Boycott. No, sure. The spinach strong.
One tough son of a bitch versus one tough Gazooka. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
Okay, look, real talk, I have one big question. What the crap?
Okay.
What the crap?
I don't know. I don't know.
So alright, like we have all these cool options, and now we have
Yes.
we have a bald guy in yellow spandex versus freaking
A sailor.
Yeah.
A World War II sailor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure. Why the
Why
crap not?
Okay. I guess the signs have been there, because if we go back over the past 2 years, they have started using the main core One Punch Man characters. Back in season 6, they used Tatsumaki,
Yeah.
and then in season 7, they used Genos. And now we have Saitama himself.
Main one, yeah.
Going all out with One Punch Man this time around.
Yeah.
It's like those last two, child's play.
Yeah.
It is main character time.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Which, okay, I know this isn't. There are some people who probably didn't want Popeye to fight Saitama. They probably wanted Saitama to fight other characters like Krillin, which would have been much better.
Yeah, to be fair, Saitama has a lot of matchups.
Yeah.
But there's one very big thing about all of them that aside from Popeye, that there's one big thing about all of them that Popeye doesn't have, that kind of prevents it. All of them suck.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's being actually, but I mean, yeah.
All of them are bad.
Yes,
like,
because
okay.
they don't understand. Okay, yeah, I think I don't know if me and Brobuscus are on the same wavelength, but in my opinion, all of them are bad because they don't understand what and who Saitama is.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess to be fair, Krillin did sound kind of funny.
Yeah, kind of funny, but see, that's just it. It's like there's nothing. There's no connections.
Yeah. Just bald guys who are really strong. That's
this.
it.
This is probably the closest we're gonna get to something that actually represents who Saitama is, what two characters are, because everybody for the longest time has assumed they have to put Saitama in a fight with either another gag character or just a one-dimensional character that is just bald or strong. When that's not really what Saitama's about.
Yeah.
He's not a gag character.
Yeah, no, he's not a gag character. I don't know where that mentality is coming from. I mean, like, he's a parody, but that's a very different thing.
If anything, exactly. He's a satire of the superhero genre.
Yeah.
But not even just the
Superman.
superhero genre. Yeah, but not just specifically that. He's a satire on what would happen if a superhero had so much power they became bored and they didn't have a reasonable challenge anymore. What if they could just defeat their enemies with one blow? Yeah. Hence, Saitama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the other matchups for Saitama, like obviously like there's Goku and Superman, and I don't like either of those but I don't know. I mean, I guess to be fair, it would be kind of interesting to see Saitama fight the man he was a parody of.
Yeah.
But like even still, just the idea just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Most definitely.
And then there's Squirrel Girl, who should stay far away from Death Battle.
Who the hell requested Squirrel Girl versus Saitama? That sounds stupid.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And if I missed any, that's probably because they bore the crap out of me.
I don't know. What? I like to be a Captain Under fan, but screw you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, I understand though, like why people wouldn't like it that much, but I personally really liked it. But I'm also not. I'm also fine with this happening, I guess. So
Yeah, this definitely feels like the best way to go for Saitama. Just,
I mean, yeah, well, okay. See, that's the thing, because people just think this is a gag fight, and it's really
it's not.
not.
it's
It's
not.
We
not.
had our gag
These
fight already.
characters, yeah, these characters are very layered when you actually stop and think about this matchup. They're not even the core thing about them is they're both superheroes, but when you actually watch their stuff, they're not really traditional superheroes. They don't really get praise from the people they save. They barely get any recognition. And at the end of the day, they're doing it because they feel they have two different conflicting reasons on why they do it. Saitama just does it because it's fun, it's challenging, and Popeye does it because he's doing it to straighten somebody out. He doesn't like bullies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these two have some things thematically in common.
Definitely. Yeah, it's
Plus, like-
definitely. I will give it this. It's more than some people are looking at it. So
Yeah. Plus, like,
Yeah.
from the perspective of it being a gag fight, like, no, it's not. It's really not. I mean, it's silly in a way because it's freaking Saitama and Popeye, but
yeah, I think.
but
Yeah.
like, when it comes to like being a gag fight, we've already had our gag fight this season, and they've said like they generally like to do it like just like one gag fight per year. Like this year it was Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man. Last year it was Red versus Blue, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, and the main pattern is they usually tend to not take the gag fights that seriously.
Yeah.
So if this was a gag fight and it was the season finale, then they would have absolutely no reason to take it as seriously as they're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be silly because that's just the nature of
Oh
the
no,
characters.
most
Like,
definitely. You can indulge and in the silliness because we just said it. This is a bald guy in yellow spandex with a cape versus another dude who fucking eats spinach and he becomes a literal god.
Yeah.
It's gonna have some laugh out loud moments. It's gonna have some funny bits in there, but at the bare minimum, it won't be not taking the characters seriously and paying respect to them as franchises, because these two are big franchises.
Yeah.
Popeye is a big franchise for us here in the United States, and One Punch Man is a blimp on Japan's radar in over there for them. It's like, look, I'm sorry. It's like One Punch Man is not Naruto. It's not Bleach, and it's not One Piece. It's not even fucking Dragon Ball. It's just there.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we know these two? Like, what do we?
Yes, it's a great transition.
What are our experiences with these two? Well, Richard, I know you're a big Popeye fan.
I am. Yes. My experience with Popeye goes all the way back, as one does, to my childhood. I remember watching a bunch of Popeye cartoons on Cartoon Network, and then later on Boomerang as a kid and as a person of adolescence, and I loved it. Like, it was standard stuff. It's like, dude is just minding his own business. He gets into situations. He gets beat up and bullied, and he eats his vegetables to save the day, which is kind of what I was taught as a kid, to always eat my vegetables and I would get strong. So Popeye embodies that. Plus, I don't know. There's just something about the character. He is kind of a superhero, so that just fed into my love for heroes in general. But I have seen, ever since then, I have seen everything Popeye related. I've seen the cartoons. I've read a few of the comics. I've watched the live action film, which is also a musical featuring the late Robin Williams. And I recently discovered that there was a CG special starring Billy West as the titular character. Billy West.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Voice of freaking Fry from Futurama plays Popeye, and holy shit, he's good. And I was very excited for the Gendy Tartakovsky Popeye film until Sony just decided, nah, a movie about talking emojis, that's more important than your silly little Popeye film. I still hate that. But thankfully, that got picked back up and it's getting worked on by Tartakovsky. So when it comes out, I'll definitely be there for that. So yes, I love Popeye. I love him very, very much. Before Samurai Jack, Popeye was my favorite cartoon character / cartoon of all time. And then there's Saitama. I think he's pretty cool. I like his show. I watched it subbed, and then when the dub came out in 2015 or 16, I believe, by Toonami, I watched that and I was like, you know what? This is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's better than the My Hero dub.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all.
Okay. To each his own. To each his own. To each his own.
I mean, I guess I'll take the wheel. But, I like One Punch Man a lot. Like it's definitely up. I mean, I'm not very well versed in anime. Like I've watched my fair share, and part of it is One Punch Man. I have not seen season 2 yet, though.
Season 2 is okay. The animation does take a nosedive, but it's
what
okay,
I've heard.
I guess.
That's about what I've heard. But like I have seen season 1, and I really enjoyed it. And you know me, I dubs for life.
I do know.
Yes. But and Saitama is voiced by Max Middleman.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. And he just got a role in Final Fantasy VII Remake, so that's pretty neat.
Yay.
Saitama is really cool. I like the concept of him. The idea of someone who's so unbelievably strong that like he wants to find someone who can match him, and he just can never find it. And they do it in a way that like that does sound that should sound like the most boring thing ever. And admittedly, initially it is. They do it in a way that makes it really interesting. Helps that there's a lot of other characters that don't follow that mindset, like Genos, who's my favorite character.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, Saitama was really cool. And I hope he gets his challenge in canon someday.
Yes. Me too. Well, I mean, off topic a little bit, but God himself has just made his presence known in the One Punch Man manga by showing why he's God by scaling and climbing the moon.
Fun.
Yes. And so, yeah, that may be something Saitama has to deal with in the future.
You know, just casually put on your superhero resume. I fought and defeated God.
Like, oh, well, what's so special about that? My God, he scaled and climbed the moon, and he saw everything from the moon. The moon is his fortress, essentially. Oh.
Yeah. And as for Popeye, admittedly, I watched a little bit of Popeye shorts when I was a kid, but I never really got into them. They just were never, my cup of tea as a kid, and I just never watched them again. So admittedly, I'm walking into this like somewhat blind with Popeye, which I know sounds really weird considering it's freaking Popeye. Everybody knows Popeye.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Dude is a year younger than Mickey Mouse. He's been around for over 92 years.
Dude predates Superman. Like,
He does predate Superman.
Popeye is the oldest character to be on Death Battle.
Yes,
He is.
which is insane.
Really crazy to think about.
Yes. Also, King Mickey doesn't count. That's not actually Mickey Mouse. It's just King Mickey. So Popeye
that
is
doesn't count.
the oldest.
For now, anyway, until we do get to Mickey.
When regular Mickey gets in, and let's be real, he will get in.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Then Popeye won't be alone.
Then there you go. But yeah. I do know. I don't think this will affect our discussion here, but I do know that some of those, good chunk of those Popeye shorts are crazy racist.
Yeah, Popeye was invented / created during the Great Depression era / the beginning of World War II, or at least not far. His animated shorts were created around that time. So, yeah, Popeye okay. To be fair, Popeye isn't racist towards people. He follows that mindset of it. So he's never actually made racial offensive comments towards people.
Yeah.
He's just comes from that time period.
Yeah.
Just want to make that clear in case people assume, oh, Popeye hates African Americans because they are like this or that. It's like, no, he doesn't. He's not.
Yeah. And it was a different time when Popeye was created, so like
yeah.
Obviously if he was created now, things would be very different. But
yes, he would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a Scrooge McDuck sort of situation with Popeye. There was a lot of things brought up in Scrooge's fight that were very, very racist, but obviously it was a very different time, so
Yeah.
we let that go.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not expecting Death Battle themselves to actually have Popeye, when he shows up, be a racist towards Saitama.
Oh,
No, probably not.
Yes.
All right. So I guess it's my turn.
The speaking ball is all yours, and any red versus blue fans will get what I just said.
Okay, so I feel like of course I know who these two are. I think it's semi-impossible for you to not know who these two are nowadays. I'm kind of in the same boat as Brobuscus, honestly. I haven't read the manga. I have watched all of season 1. Haven't of season 2. I'm probably going to do that before this fight, though, just to get myself caught up at least somewhat. But from what I have seen of season 1, I do really like Saitama. He's just really entertaining, and I like he's just a really cool character. I like what he does in the series. I like the whole series from what I have seen. Yeah, I think he's really cool, and yeah. And Popeye, I don't really have much of a personal attachment to, but I do know he exists, and of course, from what I have seen, they are entertaining shorts, at least from what I've seen of them. So, yeah. So, I don't really have much personal attachment to Popeye, but I do know them. He's fine enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what I know in a nutshell.
So I guess we're transitioning into what makes this a legacy fight.
Yep.
Yeah, because at the time
there's-
we're recording this, we don't know what their reasoning for this, but
No, but I think
we can.
I think we can make very educated guesses.
Yes.
I mean, first of all, I think we should mention that this was a community death battle at one point. So
Well, sure.
Yes.
but, like-
So it joins the club of community death battles actually becoming actual episodes. So congratulations.
To be fair,
here's your medal.
you throw a stone at a shelf of fictional characters. Chances are, like, throw 2 stones at a shelf of fictional characters, and odds are they've probably been pitted against each other in a community death battle. So
Okay, that's fair. Well, I don't.
Juggernaut, so
Well, on the contrary,
the point
I
does
don't-
still stand, though. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see the stereo mascot battle they're doing actually becoming an actual episode.
I don't know. I think it has
We'll see.
potential.
yeah, but no.
I think there's a chance. Yeah. Aside from that, well, I mean, on one hand, it's freaking Saitama. It's been requested for ages.
Yes,
And-
ever since he debuted back in 2015, like, he was big in popularity. You couldn't escape it.
Could not escape it.
Definitely.
Like, he
no
was.
matter
he
how much
blew
you
up.
probably wanted to.
No. Like, you ended up watching his. You ended up going out to either read the manga or you ended up watching the sub or dub of his anime.
Yeah.
Like, he was that big. But then
It's interesting because, like, One Punch Man is kind of like I mentioned that when I mentioned this when we talked about All Might Might Guy. My Hero was one of those shows where I was like, man, I'm getting really sick and tired of people constantly talking about how awesome this show is, because, like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. But
You
eventually
say
I was
it,
like, but then I ended up watching it anyway. One Punch Man is kind of in a similar boat.
Yeah, except unlike My Hero or One Piece or even fucking Boruto, it doesn't come out consistently. It takes a while because the manga is still going. Well, no, there are 3 ways it's still going. The web manga is still going, and then the actual manga is still going, and then we get the anime. So, yeah, it could be a while before we get the next season. Like, it could be out next year, could be out the year after that. We don't know. It just depends.
Oh,
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, another thing, at least Saitama finally got his own fighting video game, and, oh, wow, he's just as broken in the game as he is in his actual show.
To be fair, that is kind of an interesting gimmick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played the game, so I don't know if it's any good, but when I saw that, I'm like,
yeah.
you know what? I hate it, but it's creative.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah. Like, they've been talking about bringing Saitama in for a long time. We mentioned before, like, they thought about, like, they wanted to wait until, like, they could find, like, a good, like, gag match for him. Look how well that turned out. But, and then Popeye, they've been wanting to bring Popeye in for ages. They just never could find the right match for him. And it's really fitting because, like, the only other match I heard for Popeye aside from Saitama was freaking Luffy.
Well, no, there was a third one I heard. It was another character. I can't remember its name. It was another cartoon-looking character.
Lucky.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name yet.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, at one point at RTX or something, I forget if it was like 2018 or 2019, but both Liam and Luis brought up Saitama and Popeye, and eventually they're like, all right, let's let them fight each other.
Yeah.
And hey, look at that. Look where we ended up. And Liam's been wanting to do this one for a while, so.
Yeah. Which we'll get to the credits and who's doing this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the long and short of it that we can get right now is that this is one they've been talking about for a while.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
bringing both characters in for a while, so.
Yeah, and again, this matchup is the most requested fight for both of these characters. Like, it's not in the top 20 or anything, but it's at least in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like, Saitama is definitely a character you would probably want to end your season on.
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely big enough to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we started off this season with fucking Yoda, and now we're ending it with Saitama, so really, it's good there.
Yeah. So yeah, there's probably more, but obviously we're recording this so early they haven't said anything.
Yep. So
yeah.
Plus, I don't want to make any like preemptive judgments anymore after Korra Storm.
Yeah.
So, I'll just say
we
like
learned our lesson on that one.
Yeah. So like if this like, I'll just assume there's either more to it or this is it, and I will just accept.
I don't think it's good enough for a reason, honestly. So
yeah. I mean, obviously, I know people are disappointed that it's not any of the other matchups we previously brought up. And admittedly, yeah, it does feel a little weird that we're ending it on this and not something bigger.
yeah.
But
It is how it is.
They ended one season with All Might and Might Guy, so I have.
Yeah, plus Virgil versus Sephiroth. I mean,
yeah, that too.
I mean, I don't think we should let the match. I mean, especially I know after Korra Storm, but especially like for the season finale, we shouldn't let the matchup itself judge how good it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Just off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that sways us on over to the production aspect.
Yep, which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Because people are having a hard time figuring out what animation style this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Because okay, we can rule out sprites because apparently they said on cast that that Madara versus Aizen is the last sprite fight of the year.
Yes.
So we can rule out that. And now people are left debating whether this is 3D or hand drawn. And I'm sitting here like, y'all are freaking serious, right? Like, y'all are
okay.
Y'all are actually debating this? This feels kind of obvious to me.
It kind of is obvious. It's like, okay, let me just say it's not 3D. I feel confident in saying it can't be 3D.
Oh, well, I'm the opposite.
Oh, okay. Look, it's like, would it be cool to see in 3D? Yes, but see, here's the problem. Popeye does not have that many 3D models, at least good-looking ones. Saitama does have an existing 3D model thanks to his game.
That's why we have custom modelers on that team.
I know, yes, but another thing too is that it's crazy expensive to just make one from the ground up. The only 3D model that they've made from the ground up for this season was Mikasa, and I don't see them doing that again because that would be crazy expensive to do.
Well, to be fair, the only reason why that's the only custom model is because all the other 3D fights are by the Blender guys. They can't make models like that.
This is true. Yes, this is very true.
And that kind of leads into another thing. Like, has anybody noticed that Blake vs. Mikasa is the only in-house 3D fight this season? Are we really about to end the season with that in mind?
Honestly, I think so. I feel confident in saying that I believe this is going to be a hand-drawn fight, and this will be done by the in-house 2D department team once again. I feel like we're gonna do it. We're gonna break it. We're going to have 2 hand-drawn fights in the same season because it's the only way this could work. I don't disagree with it being a 3D fight. It's just really when you look at it, this fight is going to be wacky, cartoony, and it's going to have some shenanigans. A 3D fight does not capture that, especially since Popeye is an old-school Toon Force character. His body is very malleable, and it's very stretchy, and it feels like it's not tied to a third dimension.
Well, we've had stretchy 3D fights before.
This is true, yes, but again, I feel like they
custom made Goro and Machamp's model so they could stretch out.
I know, but again, I feel like they are going to take a similar approach to what they did for the Mask in Deadpool versus the Mask, because they really did do a good job of conveying they can do it.
I mean, sure, but they haven't really convinced me that they can pull off the action of One Punch Man either. Whereas
True.
Whereas the 3D team can. Like, basically, take the hand-to-hand combat of All Might versus Might guy and combine it with, like, the visual effects of, like, Hulk versus Broly. And there you go. And
I agree.
And on top of that, these two have very simple designs and very simple, like... I imagine it could be very simple to make models for them.
Yeah. For Saitama, yes, absolutely. I mean, because the biggest example I can think of for how simple Saitama's design is go look at fucking Mighty Raccoon. That dude got a custom-made model of Saitama and used it, and it was pretty damn good looking until an official 3D model was made for the game. Mm-hmm. So, but with Popeye, there's a lot of just the way he looks. There's a lot of intricacies in how to do it because, again, you have to decide, okay, well, do I want this to be just a 3D model of the cartoon sheet? Because that actually has been done in the Billy West animated special that I talked about. Because, Brobuscus, you'll like this. Maybe this will make you want to seek it out. It was animated and done by the team who did Beast Wars and Beast Machines.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they've improved since then, because oh boy.
Well, this was made back in the early 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So, I mean...
Look, I freaking adore Beast Wars, but the animation is not why.
No, it's not. No. But you're not wrong. You are not wrong. But again, if I know how they're going to execute this fight, I think it would be in their best interest to just have it be a hand-drawn fight. Because at least then they can do the cartoony aspects of Popeye justice. And at the same time, they can actually make the action sequences of One Punch Man work. It's just not going to be the way his first season was able to do it. Nor is it going to be how you or anybody else would probably want them to do it if Saitama wasn't fighting Popeye, because that's kind of the biggest thing. If this was someone else, then absolutely, I think it could be a 3D fight, and it could work for the reasons you listed. But this is Popeye.
Well, okay.
Or I was thinking about it. Either I saw this in another show, or I just thought in my head, what if, and I kind of doubt this, but I'm just throwing it out there as a thought, What if they actually switch styles of animation, like go from 3D to hand drawn to sprite and stuff like that?
I mean, I guess I could see that, but I feel like they would save a trick like that for something like Mickey Bugs.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see them doing it for this fight. Plus two, I mean, it would have to be very coordinated, and they would just have to know exactly how to do it.
Yeah, just something I thought of and wanted to throw out there.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool, but they would have to. Yeah, it would be very difficult to do.
I mean, another thing to think about, aside from the fact that the in-house 3D team has only done one fight this season, and that ain't gonna fly. But like all of the other finales, and I know what some people are gonna counter me with, but shush. All the other finales have been 3D. All the other finales have been 3D. Okay, even if I wanted to pretend for a hot second that Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie is indeed a thing,
Sure, you do.
that wasn't intended to be the finale. Megazord versus Voltron was meant to be the finale, and that one is 3D.
You're right.
So all of the finales, at the very least, were intended to be 3D. So, and like the way I see it, they can combine the art style and hand-to-hand combat of something like All Might versus Might Guy, and then like the squash and stretch of Goro versus Machamp, and then the visual effects of Hulk versus Broly, and there you go. At that point, it kind of like writes itself. I just don't think, and I don't expect Blind Ferret or whatever they're called now to return. We've had like what 3 hand-drawn fights since Mario vs. Sonic, and none of them were by Blind Ferret.
No, they've all been done by Rooster Teeth's in-house hand-drawn department.
Yeah. Plus, I know it feels like 5 years ago, but we just had Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man. So I don't know. I just don't see it.
Well, I know if it is a hand-drawn fight, I call dibs on bragging points. I'm kidding.
Okay, well, I'll do the same.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my idea, and I'm gonna laugh at you both.
You know what? That's fair. I mean, technically, that's a win-win for both of us.
Yeah.
So really, but
Or we could be like the Sonic fan base, where like we get both, and then none of us are happy.
although, if it is hand-drawn, I only ask that it's much better than Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man. Not that it wasn't bad. It's just
okay. The problem with Macho Man, the problem people have with that fight isn't the animator's fault.
No, it's not. No, I'm just saying, like, in terms of battle length, it's better, which I think it obviously will be.
Yeah, for sure. And then we could transition into potential voice acting, and I hope to heaven that they get Kagi back as Saitama.
They have to get Kagi back as Saitama. There's just no other one. Who do you get? Kagi was so good as Saitama. I swear to God, I thought they actually got Max.
Yeah.
Or at the very least for voice clips.
For reference, just in case you guys are confused, Kagi was the one who voiced Saitama in the Superman vs. Saitama DBX.
Yes, and he's no stranger to Death Battle. He has voiced
he's
Hercule Satan. He has voiced Hercule Satan in Death Battle, and he has voiced the Red Ranger, Jason.
And Ed.
Yeah.
He's voiced Jason twice. He's voiced Hercule, and he's the voice of Ed.
Yes, he is the voice of Ed.
And then yeah, like ZDogg said, he's the voice of Saitama and Saitama's only DBX.
Yeah.
Definitely his only
Yeah.
DBX. I mean, YouTube wants to think that it's his only one, so why shouldn't
Yeah,
we?
okay.
Yeah,
For
sure.
DBX. Also, kind of weird that Attack on Titan doesn't have a DBX episode now. That
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
about
I know, right?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Weird.
Well, I hope they get around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Levi
Now
versus whoever. Let's do it.
Yes. Well, okay. Now the bigger question is,
Who the
who the
crap
hell
is
did you
voicing
get-
Popeye?
oh god, this is where we really got to use our imaginations because I know who I want it to be, and I don't think it's gonna be because the only Popeye impersonator that I know of that's out there on the internet is Brock Baker, who is the man of 1,000 voices. He's a very he's a good cartoon impressionist, and he does a great Popeye. But I don't see them reaching out to him. I do think they're gonna use one of the cast members they have in their wheelhouse.
All right, plot twist. It's Tom
So
Shaw.
now, oh my god! If it's Tom, okay, that's it. Tom, what? Where do you keep pulling this stuff from?
Say no, he's getting all the voice actor this season. I'm sure one of them has to have a good Popeye impression. Dear gosh.
Oh yeah,
Popeye.
Popeye's one of those characters where I feel like impersonating him, like in general, probably isn't that hard, but it's just like it's keeping it up, like with Yoda and Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
It's like doing a Yoda and Mickey voice is really not that difficult.
No, but it's just keeping up that pitch and trying to keep it going. And Popeye does have a distinctive voice, so that is the area where the actor has to really shine. The only two I could possibly see doing it is... Well, actually, no, because then there's another one. The only ones I could see doing it is Nick, which would be awesome if Nick came back for the finale a second time in his career. He's come back to voice a character in the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Or the second option is the aforementioned Tom Shulk.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is Cameron, the voice of Sephiroth and Mario.
Yeah, Cameron Ecott.
Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even mention, we totally got it wrong when we said that Cameron was going to be the voice of Aizen. So,
What?
whoops.
Yeah, we... whoopsie.
Oh well.
Yeah, whatever. Philip still killed it. But,
Yes.
I guess Philip is another one. The man had his debut this season, he's already got 3 roles. So,
Yeah.
why not add a 4th?
Where he actually gets a win.
Let's go.
More on that later.
Let's see, what other ones? I know someone said, like, they've heard, like, plenty of good Popeye impressions, so really there's there's really a lot we could potentially choose from.
Yeah, the only other two that I can lastly think of is Austin Lee Matthews and Kizin. I forget how you pronounce his name. The voice of Steven Universe.
Oh, Caden.
And Bugs Bunny. Yeah, that him.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Them.
Yeah, that.
Well, I can see that. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I don't doubt. If it is, then all right, cool. But
Yeah.
I just haven't heard anything they've done that could convince me. Yeah, that's Popeye.
No. Me neither.
I don't know.
Still, there's a lot of options. Honestly, I think they could just pick a random one and then be like, all right, you're Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on if they want to be as close to the original voice Jack Mercer as possible, or if they want to do something different. But I think, understandably, they're going to stick with the impressionist.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's music discussion. This is gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Cause like, what on earth are they gonna do?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird considering how different these two the musical styles of both series are. I mean, One Punch Man is very, it depends on the character for One Punch Man, and just yeah, like there's techno, there's a bit of not a
orchestra, there's beats, there's everything.
There's a bunch of things in One Punch Man, and then Popeye obviously is the classic cartoon stuff.
Popeye is very much sea shanties. That's the best way I can sum it up. It has that sailor sound to it. I mean, if you listen to Popeye's main theme song, you know the do 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 da 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 da. Yeah, that one. So, I don't know. I'm expecting it to be a good mix of the two.
Yeah,
but what I'm not expecting is vocals.
I don't know. I can see that going one way or the other.
Yeah.
I
mean, it depends if Brandon finds some killer lyrics, because you could definitely make it work.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's going to be really difficult to make it work, honestly, with this one.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think the only reason why I'm so indecisive is because like ever since they started doing original soundtracks for all of their episodes, the only finale to not have a lyrical track was One Winged Devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the other ones have vocal tracks. So I don't know, maybe.
No. Goku vs Superman didn't have a vocal track.
Well, okay, but that was before they even like.
Yeah.
That was before they
I
even,
see what you're saying.
That was before they even started getting original soundtracks at all.
Well, they actually did have an original soundtrack, but it played during the credits. But still, point taken.
It was when they had.
That's not what I mean.
No. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if it was a vocal track, but I guess I also wouldn't be terribly surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I also do see Brandon doing it. I feel like this would be his something he would want to do.
Maybe, yeah. Although, actually, wait, no, never mind. I forgot about Mabra stuff.
Because Werewolf Media did do the 150th episode, so I guess
and
if I were to just go off, they did
War Machine.
Core vs. Storm. That too.
But
I don't know. I feel like Brandon could knock it out of the park if you gave it to him.
I mean, probably. Maybe they'll go another Mighty route and have Fairwolf do the music while Brandon does the vocals.
Maybe.
Now, before we get into the debate aspect,
yes.
Quotes around debate. I want to ask how do you guys expect this fight to play out? Like, how do you, like, just as far as like progression is concerned?
Yeah. Well, something we also didn't mention. Who's researching this episode?
Oh, okay. Ultra's researching Saitama. Tiki's researching Popeye.
Yes. And Liam's writing it.
Yeah. I want to say he's directing it also, but I'm not 100% sure.
Fair enough.
Although something interesting.
Yes.
Liam said on more than one occasion, including in the last cast, that this is the fight that he's probably been looking forward to the most, which is very peculiar because this
It
is the
is.
same season that has Dio versus Alucard in it,
Yeah.
which is kind of his baby. So that's something to get your hopes up for, I suppose.
Yeah, and he's also teased the length of it as well, so that does kind of mean that we could be partially looking at. Yeah, we could be looking at a 4-minute, 4.5-minute animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or the episode length itself could be bigger. Like maybe this will end up being 25, 26 minutes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we all have a pretty good idea of how we want this fight to start.
Yes, let's get into that now.
Just have them start out in a grocery mall, and
Yes.
have them fight over spinach.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's it. You couldn't be given a more perfect reason for them to fight other than that. Like they could either be fighting over who gets the spinach, or Saitama could just be like, this much for spinach? No, thank you. And Popeye could just be insulted, like, how dare you complain about the price of me spinach?
Yeah.
Like something like that. But yes, it has to be over the spinach.
Has to
Yep.
be.
Anything other than that, I dock a point.
I just want the fight to get more crazy as it goes on. Like, obviously, it will start pretty like silly because like
normal. Yeah.
like they're both basic brawlers, all things considered, and
Oh yeah.
but like I want this to play out how I wish One Punch Man will play out in the future. And it's like Saitama realizes like, oh man, this guy's actually really freaking strong. I might actually meet my match.
Yeah, like he's getting excited and he's getting curious, like kind of like the dream sequence he had with the
Yes, I want the entire fight to be that.
Yeah.
That was an amazing part that I wish was real.
Me too. God dang. Wait, why was I censored? When the fuck did we install a censor?
You better hope that I actually do something about that. Otherwise, that joke's gonna fall flat on his face.
That would be funny. But yeah, no. One thing I would like too is I just want Popeye to be Popeye. You don't need to do anything special for him. You just have him say. You can just have him be himself. Like say the classic line, "I am what I am. That's all that I am." You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like just have them both bounce off of each other in a comedic fashion, because again, the comedic elements of this fight are endless on what you could do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like how the fight ends would be interesting too, because like if Saitama does win, I know foreign concept, but bear with me. If Saitama wins, I kind of want him to get like either he gets like super excited because like, man, I just defeated my match, or either that or he gets super depressed. It's like, man, this guy was really strong and I still beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
it would, or just have Popeye if Popeye does win. Not such a foreign concept. Just have Popeye be all like, this guy was crazy. This was a good deal on me spinach. Just have him not even acknowledge Saitama. He's just fucking acknowledging the spinach.
Well, even like from Saitama's perspective, it's like, I'm actually about to die.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank you.
Yeah, I finally got a good match after all. Thank you, Sailor Man.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want that.
Yeah.
Like, I want Saitama to realize, okay, I'm about to die. I accept this.
Well, no matter how cartoony the death is, if Saitama, we'll get to that. If Saitama loses, even if it's really cartoony, I do want that moment in there as he's dying.
Yeah.
If he's dying. Okay, who am I kidding? As he's dying, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I want to. Like, obviously, don't make it too depressing, but like.
Yeah.
No, just have it be something whimsical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a simple thank you would be enough for me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Just a simple.
Knowing Liam and his messed up mind,
yeah,
he'll probably find some way to make it super depressing.
Which, okay, speaking of that, let's talk about the death, the kill shot.
I'm sure it'll be something relatively simple.
It was like, how do you do a kill shot for this fight?
I mean, I feel like, I feel like maybe having something maybe involved with the sun, like have either of them knock each other into the sun.
Oh yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, Popeye freaking hates the sun, apparently. So
that's true. He does.
So I don't know. Just have him like yeet Saitama into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, most definitely. I do. I hope that. I guess overall I hope that this animation, this voice cast, and this soundtrack it's good. I hope that it can be my personal #1 favorite.
Yeah, I'm expecting good things from it at least.
Yeah,
so
same.
hopefully it delivers.
If Liam's more excited for this than Dio versus Alucard, then that's got me. That's definitely got my interest.
Yes, you have my attention.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh, I'm sure he won't.
Okay.
Like, obviously, I don't know if I'll like it more than Dio versus Alucard, but
it'll definitely be in my top 3 if the expectations I have for it are met. Then it'll at least be in the top 5, top 3. I think I could comfortably say that.
Yeah.
I can't speak for these guys because they're not big Popeye. They're not fans of both characters. They're just fans of the one. Whereas
Yep.
So I have more crazier expectations to be met with this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just hoping it's going to be good. So.
Me too.
Well, they got to make up for the. I would hope it's good because they have to make up for the potential.
Salt.
Yeah, the potential salt because holy crap, Saitama's about to die.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I hate to see it, but
man, I said this off record, but this is actually kind of unfortunate because I actually like. I mean, obviously, you should know I like Saitama more, so
yeah.
Like I want him to win,
but he's not going to.
He's not going to. But also, like, I mean, it's gonna sound mean, but I actually think that Saitama losing to Popeye of all people would. It just sounds kind of funny to me. You know, for being the guy who's like, man, I kill everything in one punch, and then you get this cartoony Sailor Man being like, yeah, haha, no.
I'm stronger. I'm strong to the finish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That sounds kind of cathartic, but at the same time, it risks another preferred character of mine getting axed. So.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Poor caped Baldy.
Yeah, which, okay, let's discuss that. Alright, so,
All right, so
look, I said this to these guys off camera. I'll say it here. Popeye actually does lose in his base form if he's not given spinach. But there's a problem with that.
there's a
Not
problem with
giving
that.
Popeye spinach is like not giving Yoda his lightsaber.
Yeah, or a better example is not giving Kool-Aid Man access to fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like,
I remember
the narrative. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember Liam said years ago that not giving Popeye his spinach is like putting Goku in Death Battle without giving him ki.
Yeah,
So like
essentially.
freaking duh is gonna get spinach.
Yeah, it is. It's like, because it's always been part of the narrative. For 92 years, Popeye always gets his spinach. It's part of his character. It's part of the story. It's a plot device, for God's sakes. He has to get the spinach in order to beat the bad guy that he's facing. There's just no other way around it. And hypothetically, let's say if Saitama did know that that's where Popeye gets his source of strength from, and he decides to make it even and destroy the can of spinach. Well, duh, obviously. First off, how would he know that? But, again, let's just pretend for a moment that Death Battle can do that. Okay, he destroys the can of spinach. He thinks it's even now. But then Popeye reveals he has other ways to get it. An audience member can just chuck him a can of spinach. He can summon spinach from a great distance. He can he can land on an island, and coincidentally, that island has a spinach plant that he can just rip out from the root and eat it. Or he can summon the spinach goddess herself, and she can come down from above and give him spinach.
Of course.
Yes.
Just another Saturday for me.
Yeah, exactly. He has tons of ways to get the spinach. There's just no way around it. And in that regard, Saitama loses. Not to base Popeye, because again, base Popeye and Saitama are almost relatively even in a few areas. It's just once Popeye gets that spinach, that's it. Anything that stands in his way is dead.
Well, okay, let's talk about Saitama Stats for a hot second, because I know that's among casuals, that's kind of a source of contention.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at him. So obviously he has a few decent feats. But let's be honest, the ones that are mostly worth talking about is his battles with Lord Boros, the Dominator of the Universe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, what happened is Saitama kept up with Boros. It gave him a good fight. So basically, all this is coming down to is Boros' ultimate move, the collapsing star roaring cannon, which
has a lot of different ways you can go about it.
Yeah. The creator listed in a booklet that it was planet level, I believe, or somewhere close to solar system level. But no. Yeah, it's star.
Yeah. So basically, you can either take it like that. You could take it like he was going to wipe the surface of the continent, which obviously would be continent level. You could take it like he's gonna destroy the Earth, which would be planet level. Yeah.
Although there is a bit of a translation thing where the symbol or whatever it's called for planet could also mean star. Other
planet.
Yeah. So if you take that at face value, then that attack would be star level, and Saitama redirected it.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be fair and say I'll take that at face value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I personally put it at Planet.
Yeah, I do too normally, but I'll say star for the sake of argument.
Yeah, let's do that because
Okay.
Because uh, yeah, because star level is something Popeye matches on a bad day.
give the son a black eye.
True. I mean, okay, in Popeye's... Okay, Popeye punched his nemesis Bruto around the earth.
Yeah,
Like, he punched him
Yeah.
so hard, he went flying around the earth itself, and then came back. And Popeye punched him back down to the ground. Popeye had even been punched to the moon. So he did it before Saitama.
Rip.
Yep.
Or he punched Boruto to the moon. I can't remember which one, but point is, Saitama's not the only one that was punched to the moon.
yeah.
I do have the vlog up for potential speed feats.
Okay.
For Saitama. And the most I can see is like twice the speed of light. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce the guy's name. So, some guy threw rocks at him, and he caught them, and he can throw objects at near light speed. So that gets anywhere from almost almost 40% faster than light, or just straight up like twice as fast as light.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, I suppose.
Yeah, but then when you transition over to Popeye, you find out he's not that far off. In his base form, he can run or swim as fast as any ocean crater vehicle or car. He can transform into a tornado to get himself where he needs to go much faster. And at certain points, he's even transformed into a actual bolt of lightning or an actual plane. And the former is more impressive than the latter because a bolt of lightning is usually much more faster than any vehicle humankind has produced.
Yeah.
But at the bare minimum, I would say Popeye is way past the speed of sound.
Yeah.
But he does have light speed potential reaction.
Yeah. And then yeah, just the amount of times Popeye has like messed with the sun.
Yeah.
He should very consistently be star level 2.
Yes, especially since one of his feats when he was in spinach form, he was able to stop the rotation of the Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, star level seems about right.
I've also heard, I don't know the context, but I've heard some potential universe level stuff for Popeye.
Yes, there is potential universe content. There's even dimensional scaling, if you can believe that.
Well, the thing about Popeye that's super weird is he's both one of the most hyped up characters in Versus, but also one of the most unsourced. People will constantly bring up certain Saitama feats, but then they just don't mention where they come from or show proof of him doing it.
Yeah, with Popeye, there is proof of him doing, because that is something I probably should have mentioned. The Popeye cartoons and the comics are not canon to each other. They're both their own take on the character himself. It's the same character, but at this point, it's essentially, well, if he can do that in this media, then there's no doubt he can do it in this kind of thing.
Tiki made it abundantly clear, like, if you're going to be researching Popeye for this fight, like, actually look at the source material. Don't just go off of what people are saying. So this is another Sailor Galaxia instance, my friends.
It is. But at the bare minimum, the one thing that is consistent for Popeye the more crazier shit he's done has always been because of the spinach. His base form can't do that. So that's why I was very insistent on saying base form Popeye is not as strong or even close to his spinach transformation or his spinach buff, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Also, Popeye just has more experience. He's probably smarter.
He does know. Yeah, I would say yes. He knows how to use this environment very well against him when he's in a tight situation, and because it's confirmed that he's at least in his early 40s, he's got tons of experience not only being a sailor but also beating up people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty much seen all kinds of action.
Yeah.
Whereas Saitama, he didn't start training until he was 23, and it took 3 years for him to get where he was. So Saitama is still in the prime of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just man's got Toon Force.
Toon Force.
Toon Force OP.
Yeah.
I mean, okay,
Yeah,
that's actually an interesting thing about Saitama. Like, for such a hyped up character, his move pool is very basic.
Yeah, just punch.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
punch.
Just punch, just kick. There were instances, but this is kind of, I won't spoil too much about the second season, but all I'll just say is Saitama wanted to learn about martial arts. So he went undercover, so to speak, to fight the best martial artist in his universe. And he came to the conclusion martial arts is not as cool as he thought it was. It's just about people doing flashy moves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But like,
That
I say
and
that because compared to Popeye's Toon Force, like Saitama is just he's got them mad punches, but like
Yeah, that's not gonna.
that's it.
but like that's it. He doesn't have any like hacks. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have any hacks resistance.
Yeah, he doesn't have any weapons. There's
just
nothing about his suit that protects him.
Yeah.
Like, at least with Popeye, he's got multiple because Popeye has resistance to every form of conventional harm that you could possibly imagine.
Including, I think he has, like, resisted, getting erased.
Yes, he did get erased from existence from a disintegrator gun and by an alien, and the only thing that was left of him was the spinach.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. If we have, there's some transmutation. There's shapeshifting. Okay, transmutation plus speed. All right.
Yeah.
Shapeshifting, magnetism, magic and magic resistance, age manipulation. I don't know if that's a lot of this isn't like described, so I'm just listing them off.
Yeah,
age manipulation,
the age
merging, clairvoyance, fourth wall awareness.
Yep.
And then obviously Toon Force.
Yes. Also, gotta be a little specific here, because I know people just assume all Toon Force is the same. It's not. Popeye and Mickey Mouse and another character, they were the inventors of Toon Force. So the type of Toon Force they're using is very old school. They can do more than just the standard fourth wall breaking and shapeshifting. They can do many, many things with it. Whereas modern Toon Force, it tries to take it down a bit. Like, basically, if Mordecai and Rigby were to fight Popeye, they would get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. And they have Toon Force themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. it's kind of a GG's.
Yeah.
Poor Saitama.
Oh.
Yeah.
This sucks, man. I know that Saitama's very overexposed in verses. So like seeing him get his crap kicked in does sound cathartic, but also like I like Saitama. I don't want to see him die.
No, I do too. I really do like Saitama, but again, yeah, it's like this is kind of a problem. Is most of the fights that he's put up against, he kind of loses because most of these characters are.
I can't think of. I mean, like if you want to go the DBX route, he does beat Kenshiro.
That's true. He does because
I can't really think of anyone else he'd probably beat.
No, I mean. He can't beat Goku. He can't beat Superman. He can't beat Krillin. I know, fucking Krillin.
I know.
Him. It's
the irony of that statement.
Think about it. He can't beat. He can't beat Popeye. And again, it's like the only way. Okay, there is a little bit of hope, but it would ultimately involve a future rematch, and I don't see them doing this again. If the creator in the manga were to come out with a new feat where he is indeed immune to transmutational manipulation, so let's say if Popeye tried to turn him into something, Saitama was like, been there, done that. It doesn't work. And he's able to actually keep up with Popeye's cartoony abilities, then maybe there's a chance he could win. But right now, at
the moment, even if Saitama absolutely stat stomped Popeye, he'd still lose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because Popeye has all of these other things that essentially keep him on even ground and even push him further than Saitama.
Yep.
And, I don't want to make it sound like Saitama is lazy or anything, but Popeye is actively out there seeking adventure and, coming across all types of different strange things, whereas Saitama, he kind of just waits for crap to happen and get it the worst before he can show up. He's not being that proactive. He's not even keeping up with his training regimen because in just 3 years, he trained so hard that he doesn't feel the need to get stronger anymore.
Well, yeah, his limiter broke.
Yeah.
The man can't get stronger.
No. So it kind of just makes him as strong as he needs to be.
But when you enter a death battle, that doesn't really matter because, I mean, it kind of does, but basically at that point, you just kind of go with, well, what have they shown?
Yeah.
And like the Boros thing, that was when Saitama was going at least halfway seriously.
Yes.
So yeah,
the bare minimum, if they wanted to do another Macho versus Kool-Aid, they could have Popeye just bring Saitama back, and then they could just fight again whenever they want. But I don't see them doing that.
Yeah.
I do see
if anything,
Saitama.
I can see Saitama coming back because, obviously, his series isn't over. He could get stronger.
No, it's not.
So like, yeah, he could probably go for a comeback at least at some point in the future, but not against Popeye.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that would just be a fresh face to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I could see him possibly beating these other characters and getting past star level in the future, but against Popeye, there's just no other way unless something specific happens to him to where he finally does beat Popeye.
It has to be super specific, I feel. Because, yeah, at the moment I'm not seeing anything working for him.
Yeah.
But
Oh, well.
at the bare minimum, he'll put up a fight as strong to the finish.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And he'll get his wish. He will have fought the strongest person he ever met.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So so people who are rooting for him may not get a win, but at least the character himself will get a win.
Yeah.
Even if it will
And
cost him his life.
Yeah. And hey,
Even if it has to cost him his life.
And as long as Death Battle does him some justice, I don't think anyone will complain.
Nah. Well,
yeah.
They'll complain about something, but whatever.
Well, when it gets to the point where even like the casual audience is going for Popeye, something's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I do hope people actually support this episode. And yes, it sucks. It's not what you wanted it to be, but at this point, I've come to accept that they have a reason. They just probably can't tell us why they're doing what they're doing, or they really just want to do this because it's what they want.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, Death Battle started with the concept of a Star Wars character that only had 4 lines of dialogue fighting a badass chick in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are 10 years later.
I went back, complete side note, I went back to rewatch, I just did a binge watch of the Star Wars movies. And when I got past the original trilogy, I looked at Boba Fett and I was like, wait, this guy's a fan favorite? It's like I know why, because of like legend stuff and obviously now Mandalorian.
Yeah, well, about him toy sales and just the way he was designed and
yeah. But like, just based on the 2 movies he's in, okay, 3, but details.
Yeah.
I look at him, I'm like, man, this dude's boring. He looks cool, which I guess is what matters to people, but
it obviously is what mattered, because then that's how he grew a fucking fan base. Literally, He just looked cool. By the way, if y'all haven't seen the Boba Fett documentary on Disney Plus in celebration for his own solo series that's coming at the end of this month, please go watch it. It's very insightful, and it goes over a great amount of details about the character.
All right then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it then.
Yeah, that's it. The season is done.
We're done. We don't have any more next time to talk about. Although, I would like to bring up this kind of transitions into a potential bonus topic, if you guys don't mind.
I guess, sure.
All right, so now that we know the entire lineup of this season, I think overall, I'd say it's a pretty solid season lineup. Of course, there are some episodes that are questionable in the season, but overall, I think it's a good celebration of the series. Although I know there is a bunch of controversy of the whole legacy aspect of some of these fights. I don't get why people are questioning that this is supposed to be a legacy season when Ben Singer himself mentioned it in the cast. But okay, just saying. Sorry, I just don't get that. But whatever. So basically, what I'm saying is there is, whether you like this season or not, matchup wise, I'm sure some people can agree there's. I think it was inevitable there was going to be some missed potential with the matchups. Obviously, I'm sure you can't fit every quote-unquote legacy matchup into a 16-episode season.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, I want to ask you guys, obviously, doesn't have to be long. I'm just curious. If you were to pick one episode to add to this season, which would it be?
To add to it,
Well, okay, like not or like that would have been instead. Like, what would have been one fight you would have added to the season? That's
Okay, I get why they didn't do it. Like this is a match they actually like said like why it probably wouldn't fit, but just like just because it's like the only like the big one that's on my mind, I'd probably say Ant-Man versus the Atom.
That's fair.
I mean, again, I get it. I get why it wasn't picked. Especially since the Marvel versus DC matchups we did get are kind of like the quintessential ones.
Yeah.
Well, like when you think about it, let's look at Lex and Doom. Like those two are about as comic book supervillainy as you can get.
That's fair.
And they're like probably. I mean, obviously, like you know, Marvel has Thanos, DC has Darkseid. You know, we already did that fight. So like when you take those two out, I think Lex and Doom are arguably like probably some of the most popular villains among among both Marvel and DC.
That's fair. But I do agree that this should have been there. I mean that.
And then you look at Batman and Iron Man, and it's like, well, that one should be obvious. Also, I want it on record that those are our only two Marvel versus DC fights this season.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
You know, just let that sink in.
They did look.
They did say they would be toning down on Marvel and DC characters, and look at that, they kept their promise.
Yep, they did.
Indeed.
So that's good.
I guess for me, real quick, I would have taken out Steven Universe versus Star Butterfly and replaced it with, if we were going to have a cartoon character fight another cartoon character, I would have done Jenny Winkman versus Robot Boy.
That's fair.
Okay.
No disrespect to Steven versus Star. It turned out to be a good episode for the time they had, but it's just, I was not looking forward to, I guess, seeing Steven get into Death Battle only to fight Star. I really feel like if they were going to bring Steven in, they should have had him fight somebody else. And plus, too, I mean, I would argue that Jenny, with the emergence of Nick All-Star Brawl and Jenny's potential, hopefully, appearance in that game, get off your asses and actually announce it, you fucking bastards. Okay, I'm done. But
and I haven't
this
played
would
the
have been
games. I have no stakes in that.
It's not worth anything new. You're better off waiting for multiverses.
And that's why I haven't played it. Because I knew as such going into it.
Yes, point is...
Side note, when I heard that game has no voice acting, I'm like, well, that game's botched.
Yeah, how do you not have it? Anyway.
I don't get it because they just want to try it, and plus multiverses and coming to Switch. Why? And sorry, go on.
No. Jenny versus Winkman would have been much better because, again, my life as a teenage robot is very... My life as a teenage robot is much better than people realize, and people need to go and watch Robot Boy at least once in their life. I know it's not the best Cartoon Network show, but it's severely underrated, and I don't know. I feel like that would have just been more awesome to see than, oh, look, it's a match. It's this fight again. Now Death Battle's giving their take on it.
Well, to be fair, I am kind of glad they at least got it out of the way.
Yeah, and you know, hey, it did crack 1 million views, so there's that.
That's true. And like, look, that episode wasn't for me, but like, I will admit there was things I liked about it. So like, I'm glad I at least watched it.
Same, but it was a missed opportunity because, again, we don't get cartoon characters. We don't get that many cartoon-on-cartoon characters that often. And when we do, it's like...
Yeah, we definitely need more cartoon characters on this show.
Heck yeah. Agreed.
And thank God Popeye is now here for that. So,
Yeah.
Ha! I bet you all thought I was gonna say. Sorry, I was just gonna say. I bet you all thought I was gonna say Korra versus Ray should have replaced Korra versus Storm.
You want to know what's funny? That's exactly what I was just about to say.
Oh my goodness! Yay!
Yeah, I would have replaced Storm with Ray. I know that's a cliche pick, but I just like. Yeah. And like I look, Korra versus Storm proved me wrong. I'll admit to that. Like that was definitely a pleasant surprise, but I still think Ray would have been at the very least just as good.
Yeah, it would have. And plus two, it would have improved the view count because Korra versus Storm is now the second lowest.
Yeah, that's weird. Korra versus Storm is performing really poorly, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. It's, I mean, at the bare minimum, it's beating Macho and Kool-Aid, so there's that at least.
Well, I wasn't. Well, yeah, but I was kind of expecting that. But,
that's a shame. No,
fair. You think like X-Men '97 or something would like pick it up a little bit? But no.
For real.
Weird.
Oh, well. Yeah. Maybe. Well, there's time. I'm sure it'll get more views eventually. Okay. Hopefully, at least it'll get more views. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna actually, because I feel like fights like Korra or Polix, Aloyd, and stuff, I feel like those are a bit no-brainers. But if we're not going with those, okay, there's actually two in mind. Well, technically three, but two can be talked in the same one. So I'm gonna say for my first one, this could just because of my bias. I'm gonna say I don't know what fight it would replace, and I mean I don't think it needed to. I'm gonna say Bowser versus Eggman should have been this one.
Yeah.
This season.
Maybe.
Like, but I mean, like it's not like I don't think it was like 100% necessary, but like it's Mario versus Sonic is a huge rivalry. I know. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you that.
Yeah.
And I do think
Alpha
these
Wars
two
did in fact exist.
Yeah, and I mean, I do think these two are two of the most deserving for a run back on the show.
Justice for Bowser.
Justice for Bowser. Let's go, Mario bias.
I mean, Eggman too, but his episode was.
Yeah, his episode was at least. This episode was still pretty solid. The only issue is that Metal Sonic. Really?
It's season 1.
Yeah, it's season 1, but also.
I mean, okay. If I'm gonna be fair, I actually don't think Bowser versus Ganon is that bad of an episode. In fact, there's things I actually really like about it. But don't I say Justice for Bowser because that episode is wrong as balls. It's not really the episode's quality. It's just Bowser should have won.
But I mean, well, at least for Bowser Ganon's sake, I do think that episode isn't the best received in the community. So I do think he should come back.
No, it's not. But like me personally,
Yeah. But yeah, and plus, like, I do think it. Even though I don't know which is more requested between this and Wily Eggman 2, but
I think it's pretty even.
But no, I do think this could have fit in this season pretty easily, and I would have been okay with that, mostly because I have Mario bias.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it'll happen in the future.
Yeah.
So, actually, okay, off topic. Have we had a Mario discussion on this podcast yet? Like, where?
I mean, I know we did. I know when we did our season 5 run through, we discussed Mario vs. Sonic, but
okay, I'm just thinking because
I can't think of anything else.
Okay, well, because when there is a Mario next time, like a next time involving Mario character, I'm gonna go off on that one because
Well, I would imagine.
yeah, Mario is like a series I know pretty well, and I know for at least two of their most requested fights right now, I'm very hard in the Mario character's favor. So yeah.
I also know, I think we tried to do like a couple discussions on Wario DDD, but neither of those episodes saw the light of day.
Yeah.
So, rip.
Indeed. Well, there'll be time in the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if I had to pick one, that would be my main one. I don't know. I can't really say much about the other two, so I'm just gonna mention them. The two I'm thinking of is Travis Touchdown versus either Scott Pilgrim or Jack Hammond. Either of the two.
I could actually see that for next season.
Yeah.
With no
I don't know which
out.
Yeah, I don't know which one, and I don't really care, honestly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, either of them sound fine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess right now, I know this kind of right now, I guess slightly Travis Jack, because Jack doesn't really have many other options.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's probably gonna be controversial, but I think I'd probably replace one of the two fighting game matchups with Liu Kang versus Jago.
Really? And that's fair. Actually.
This is gonna be controversial, but I think I probably would have swapped out Heihachi versus Geese with it. And the only reason why is because Akuma versus Shao Kahn, like Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter, is a very big fighting game rivalry.
Yeah.
And like, two of the big bads of their respective franchises, and arguably the match they should have had in the first place.
Yeah, that's fair.
The only reason I think that would be controversial is because Heihachi versus Geese is very well received in the community, but also it brings in both Tekken and King of Fighters again, and Lord knows we need more of them. But yeah.
That's fair.
But we also need Jago in Death Battle right now. How is arguably the main pro tag of Killer Instinct not made it in yet?
I don't know. I'm sure he'll get his time eventually. But yeah.
I know someone in the comments is probably going to say, I would have swapped out, Blake versus Mikasa with Ruby versus Maka. I'm like, you stupid.
Okay, I know me and Combo had this conversation last night. Me and a few other people, actually. I'm not denying that Ruby versus Maka would have been good for this season. It's weird, because I know, because this is where we had a bit of a difference. I feel like Ruby is semi Deku in this case, where I think she should be hold off until Ruby's.
Well, Ruby's kind of a little bit of a gray area, because there's that, but also we're literally having Saitama next, so
that's the thing. I don't know. It's because
I don't know. I'm also biased as all get out, because I really don't want to see Ruby lose that fight. But,
yeah, but I also just really hate the comments saying, "Oh, they're just gonna wait for Ruby to win," and I freaking hate comments like those. So, I don't know.
Dude, bit of a side note. Have you seen?
Sorry.
I'm bringing this up, and I think at this point you should realize that our main discussion is over. But
yeah.
Have you seen Mate and Max's discussion video, pre Blake versus Mikasa?
some of it. I haven't watched all of it, admittedly. Sorry, guys, if you're watching. I hope you.
That's fine. But yeah. I think near the end, or at least somewhere in there, Mate mentioned those types of people that said like, "Oh, Blake's just gonna win because Rooster Teeth bias."
Like,
And Max got pissed. Cause,
deservingly so. Deservingly so.
cause like, cause okay, but like bit of history. His favorite Ruby character is Weiss.
Yeah.
And arguably, Weiss is his favorite character, like ever. And he was the researcher for her in her death battle, and we know how much she got absolutely destroyed in that. In fact, it got to the point where that is the only episode he has never actually watched. Like to this day, he has yet to actually watch that fight. And given what the community said, I don't think he ever will.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Max, if you're watching, you're honestly not missing much.
Yeah.
You're missing out on a decent animation and another well done performance by Kara, and that's really about it.
Yeah.
So.
And also, if you're watching, we would love to have you on one day. No.
Yeah. So like, when he sees those type of people who mention Rooster Teeth bias, he just like gets so infuriated because like he researched a matchup where his favorite character in all of fiction got horribly slaughtered.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much proof right there. But no, I don't like Rooster Teeth bias arguments.
No, I don't either. I get so pissed at them.
Oh yeah, like here, like I'll be honest. The only one that I can admit, looking back on it now, is bias is Ruby Ragna, the DBX.
Well, yeah, but that was intentional. That they didn't even try to hide the fact. Like they put a Ruby ad before it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Like, that entire episode exists as a promo for Volume 6. That's entirely the reason why it exists. Okay, to be fair, yes, the animator did say that he was originally going to have Ragna win, but like, still,
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Like, yes, that was biased, but also it's a DBX. Who freaking cares?
Exactly, but whatever.
And I know some people are going to bring up, oh, what about Yang versus Tifa? But like, no, that just had botched research. That's it.
Yeah, that had botched research. I mean, I'll give you the Volume 3 poster over her course was a bit disrespectful, but like, I seriously don't think. I
don't think they intended it that way.
Yeah, that's just their research on Final Fantasy was different at the time. So
yeah. But like, no, there was no bias there. They genuinely believed that Yang would win.
Yeah, if they did the fight nowadays, that'd be different. But
yeah, and Ben's even admitted it. Ben said that if they did Yang versus Tifa now, Tifa would win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we talked about the bad eggs of the death battle community when we were trying to talk about this legacy season. I think we're good to wrap up here.
Yeah, I mean, we did get the fights across. That's just a little extra. Yeah.
So, so that's that. So, hope you guys enjoyed Madara versus Aizen. If you didn't, that sucks. Hope you guys are looking forward to Saitama versus Popeye. I know we are.
Yes. We'll be here 2 weeks from today to tell you what we thought of it.
Yeah. And whatever they potentially have shown for season 9.
Yep.
And for those who actually do leave comments on the video, I actually have an interesting question to ask you as we leave off. If we can make it work, or I'm just curious, just out of sheer curiosity, who would you like to see us attempt to get on for the next season of Death Battle? Like for episodes. I know that could be depend on the episode. But just in general, who would you like to see on the show if we can make it happen? Like as a podcast guest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thing I wanted to bring up since the season's almost over, and yeah. I have a few people in mind. I'm just curious what the audience would like to think.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Also,
audience
if you are
matters.
one of the people who leaves comments, we appreciate you.
You guys are cool. Except when you leave comments about Ben versus Hal on a video that has nothing to do with it.
Let's not.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But not,
If you're gonna leave comments, please make sure they're relevant to the video.
yeah, but now.
For real.
But now, for those who are the good eggs, we appreciate you. And yeah, sorry. Didn't mean for that tweet. I kid you.
Yeah. So that will be all. So.
That's right.
So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Later.